All right, there I am. Can you hear me? Yeah, perfect. All right, guys. So Bitcoin had an insane dump right here. I'm not too worried. I'm going to tell you that I'm buying the dip, and I basically want to give you guys my plans, right? So I have some long exposure on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins. I'm gonna go through my bag, show you guys what I have and why I haven't sold. If I'm looking at entering the altcoins, and what to do with my short-term trading portfolio versus my long-term holds, and what my plans are for Bitcoin. And nothing has really changed. So let's run the intro, and right afterwards we'll look at Bitcoin. All right, so what we have here on Bitcoin is this one extremely weird day. All right, so we got El Salvador. um, today was when they started buying Bitcoin and officially turned their made Bitcoin an official currency. I honestly don't know the details of that, or the details of how much they bought or when they bought or whatever, but the fact that we got this today at the same time, and also had the rumors about a big Brazilian community in Reddit. I don't know if it's true or not, or if that would even make any sense. That a lot of people would buy like $30 worth of Bitcoin at the same time, and this happens, right? There's some really weird stuff going on, and but the thing is, this is not unusual for Bitcoin, right? If you're new in the market, maybe you've entered in the last couple of months or last couple of weeks. Maybe we have a lot of people entering right here because they thought that this might be a good buying opportunity to enter the market. Maybe a lot of people bought here and kind of FOMOed in on this big move to the upside. You might not have experienced before a move like the one we got today, right? But let me tell you that this is completely normal, right? Completely normal. Stuff like this happens all the time, and usually what happens when Bitcoin experiences such a violent move like this, or we have this daily candle, obviously. Usually what I see happening is we start to recover, and we move upwards into the area close to the point where we really broke down, which would be this level right here, the 50, let's say the 50 to 51k area, or we move lower down to the lows to retest the lows. So it's either a move back up to test the breakout area, or a move down to test the lows. And the question is then, what happens when we test that level as support, or what happens when we test this level as resistance? Usually we will do we do see days of some ranging market structure, unless this dump is just going to continue down. And important thing here is to see where, let's say that this level right here is going to act as a major resistance area, which I do think that it will, because that is the breakdown area. The question is, what happens when we hit that level? Will we reclaim that? If we do reclaim this level, all is good. We're probably going to stop moving higher and just forget about this dump. But if we can put in a bearish rejection here, I'm thinking we either start a range in this area right here, or we just move straight down. And my plan for Bitcoin all along has been basically trading based on the daily 50 EMA, which is this gray line right here. So I'm thinking, as long as Bitcoin stays above the daily 50 EMA, and I've also marked out a couple of rectangles here to show you the significance of the daily 50 EMA when Bitcoin is in a high time frame uptrend. And I'm basing that on the fact that I played this bull market based on the daily 50 EMA. So I think I bought 22, the break of 20. I waited for a retest of 20k. We never got that, obviously, so I entered around 22k, and the plan was all along to hold Bitcoin now or sell Bitcoin as soon as we had a daily open and close below the daily 50 EMA. And I do believe think I sold somewhere up in this area. I did rebuy up here, but then I sold once again down here. And I'm going to play it just the same as the last time, right? So when we broke above the 42K area, that is when I started entering Bitcoin with size once again. And my plan is all along and has been all along to hold Bitcoin as long as we stay above the daily 50 EMA. Obviously, the leverage longs we had open on altcoins are stopped out, right? Obviously, because if you look at the altcoin market, we're completely wrecked on the low to medium time frame. If you look at the altcoin index here, for example, you see that we completely broke the market structure right here. Obviously, we found some support on the daily 50 EMA, but my plan here is to hold my spot holdings, right? Hold Bitcoin, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm in right now. So I'm in Bitcoin, and this is my medium to long term holdings, right? So I'm in Bitcoin, Sol, Ethereum, Link, Matic, Aave, Uni, Sushi, BNB. Got some Dodge as well for some reason, and then FTT, right? So that's my holdings, and I'm not selling that bag unless Bitcoin actually loses the daily 50 EMA. And considering the fact that we have such a violent move right here, I'm not going to be selling on a daily close below the 50 EMA. I'm going to be exiting the crypto market when we have a daily open and close below the daily 50 EMA, because I do feel like this might not be the end of this dump. We might move lower, right? So we're probably going to see a lot of volatility in the next hours, and probably this night when I'm sleeping. So I'm going to leave my spot holdings open, no stop losses, right? I'm just going to let it run, but I'm not going to be in any leverage long positions on altcoins, right? So if you're asking me, what altcoins should I buy? I'm the only advice, not financial advice, obviously, but I can only tell you what I would do, and what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this dump to, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to either recover lost levels, which would be noticeable in the altcoin market with a pretty obvious bottom, right? But I'm not going to enter any short-term trades and day trades on altcoins until we have a new trend forming, right? Because what we have right here is if you flip through the altcoin market here on 4 hour, what you have right here is a very clear break in the market structure, and we need to form a clear low, and then we need to form a high, a higher low, and then a higher high once again to reclaim the 4 hour uptrend. So if we're going through some of the altcoins that I thought looked interesting for a potential long opportunity. And actually, I'm going to move this up because this looks fairly interesting. And obviously, as you can see, this wick and the 4 hour market structure is just completely wrecked. It's the bullish market structure is gone. We have either a new uptrend forming or a new downtrend forming, and we are in a scenario where the trend is not very clear, right? So we have to wait for a trend to form, because we as technical analysts, we should be focused on trading with the trend. And when the trend is not clear, it's very hard to trade with the trend. However, on Bitcoin, on the higher time frames, if you look at the daily right here, the trend is bullish. The trend is still intact, and I view the daily 50 EMA as my invalidation of the bullish trend. Obviously, if you look at the 4 hour, well, of course, the 4 hour trend is invalidated, but I'm not viewing Bitcoin from a 4 hour perspective because I'm holding Bitcoin spot as a long-term bag. But looking at the altcoin market, I'm looking to trade altcoins short term. And what we need for us to successfully trade altcoins short term, we need some type of trend, right? So if you look at this chart right here, this was an obvious trend right here. This was somewhat of a trend, and what you have right here is just a very explosive move which broke all current structures. And you guys, honestly, guys, like, you might ask me to check this and that, but I'm telling you guys, everything looks the same. Look at Matic, completely wrecked. Look at EGLD, completely wrecked. 1 inch, completely wrecked. TRX, completely dead. Link, not too bad, but still, you get what I'm saying. The local market structures is gone, right? What we can do, one way to kind of measure the strength of altcoins would be to look at the wicks, right? If you look at the 4-hour market structure right here, or the 4-hour chart, you look at the wicks of this latest or of the last 4-hour candle. First look at the wick, and then look at the low of that wick. Is the low of the wick below any major like daily levels? And if you look at algo right here, I'd say that on the daily, this is actually not below that low. So algo on a daily looks all right, and it's a very, very long wick. There's obviously a lot of buying power right here. If you look at, let's say, XRP, right? So let's look at XRP from a daily perspective, right? Not looking as good as algo, right? The wick on XRP is way lower than the the daily last lows. And if you look at the 4-hour, the wick is not as big on this one, and you on algo you kind of reclaim the daily 20 and the daily 50 as well. So look for altcoins that have strength as compared to other altcoins. So are they above the 20 and 50 EMA? Look at Rune. We are below the daily 20 EMA, and it looks like we're losing the daily 50 as well. AR below, it's actually above both the daily and the 50, and I mean the 20 and the 50. And on the daily, the wick is actually in accordance to the daily market structure. So there's definitely some strength here on AR. The altcoin perp definitely has lost the daily bullish the daily bullish market structure, and the 4-hour market structure is crushed. So this is a good indication that tells you that most altcoins right now are completely wrecked. And if you want to buy the dips, look for the outliners, look for the coins that are showing still a daily bullish market structure and a big wick on the 4-hour. And that would tell you that if I'm going to put my money, if I have to buy an altcoin right here, at least buy the altcoins that are experiencing more buying power or more buying pressure as compared to the other ones, right? So we're on standby. I mean, the whole team in the Bird Nest, we are on standby when it comes to posting new calls. We're most likely not going to try to put out any bottom calls on altcoins right here, because we know that following the trend and staying true to our trading method and our trading system will make us money and will be profitable, because that is what we know, and that is what we know is profitable, right? Trying to time bottoms and pick bottoms when we have dips like this, it feels like you're only trying to, it's a bit of a gamble, trying to catch a falling knife here. For me, it's not part of my strategy to do such a thing. It's much better to wait for the dip to be bought up, and then look for a trend to form. When there's a trend forming, it's just going to be so much easier to trade that trend and make money trading that trend instead of trying to catch a falling knife and hope for the best, right? We can also look at the BTC Dominance to see if the BTC Dominance is giving us any anything here. Yeah, so what happened here was we in the Nest Club webinar we had today. By the way, guys, if you want to know when I am entering in altcoins or when I'm buying the dips on the altcoins, you know that the Nest Club members will get that information first. We'll probably post calls, and we will also, talk with you guys in the Nest Club. So if you're not a member of the Bird Nest right now, you do know that you can check it out for free by joining the birdnest.com /free trial, right? And everything we do will be available in the Discord for the members, of course. So you guys will get all the information first, obviously. Anyway, so we talked about in the webinar today. We talked about yesterday. We talked about we had this range forming right here on the BTC Dominance, and if we exit this range, we'll probably see some strength disappearing from the altcoin market. And I viewed the altcoin indices as a good indication of that as well. So using the altcoin indices in combination with the BTC Dominance gives you a pretty clear picture of the altcoin market. The problem is, and this is always going to be the problem, the market looked very, very bullish, but it definitely looked overbought, right? So we just waited for a dump. Now the question is, there's a difference in just waiting for the dump and preparing for the dump. So I'm down 3% in my total capital today, which is, it's 3% is a lot of money for me, right? And because usually, I lose 1% when I when I get stopped out on the trade, right? What saved a lot of my profits was as soon as I could, I started buying, right? So I started buying, topping up on everything I had on my portfolio, especially Sol, right? So Sol went from being the 6th largest bag in my portfolio to the second largest, right on the Bitcoin. And if you look at Sol, it recovered actually quite nicely. I mean, this is just stupid. Probably, it's just insane. So that I think I got at least 20 to 15% increase on that Sol bag, and that is what kind of saved my portfolio for on going 5 to 10% minus or something like that, right? So what I'm saying is, like, all the dips, when this happens, all the dips I will keep on buying. But I think I bought enough today on this dip. I will have to wait for tomorrow to see how price action evolves. And if we lose a daily 50 EMA with a daily open and close below, I'm gonna probably start exiting, right? And look for better entries. So we'll look at the look at all altcoin indices here. Like I said, it's a good indication of, like, trying to figure out where is the altcoin market, right? And obviously the altcoin market is completely wrecked. We have not seen a bottom right now. I would actually recommend you guys add these indices to your watch list. It's the alt perp, the mid perp, the shit perp, the DeFi perp, exchange perp, and privacy coin indices, right? And what I want to see here before I start day trading altcoins once again or enter short-term position is a trend in the altcoin indices. And if there's a trend forming in the DeFi in this perp, you know that you might want to look at the DeFi coins to find the strongest ones to go long. Or you could just trade these, right? You could just trade these if you want to be, have some long exposure to the altcoin market. You can, of course, have exposure to this one. The problem is it's going to be, the gain's not going to be as big. The risk reward is good, but it's not going to be as good as actually longing the strongest altcoin. So let's go through the chat here, see if we can find anything interesting. Let's see. Matic. Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of people asking about Matic, so let's actually check Matic. I might have looked at that already, but let's see. Yeah, it's looking like everything else. Now, one thing very important here. How do we know that this is the dip to buy? Well, we don't know that this is the dip to buy. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. But the fact that we did hold the daily 50 EMA, and the fact that we just dumped so far down. I mean, we the low, I mean, the low on Betstamp was 42.9. We're in an uptrend, right? We're in an uptrend. We're in a bullish market structure. I bought this dip because my plan all along was to buy the dips until we lose the daily 50 EMA. So just average down, and if we lose the daily 50 EMA with a daily opener close below, I exit. But if you want to really be sure that this is the dip, just look for I'd say a good indication would be a double bottom on the 1 hour, or a double bottom on the 4 hour, something like that. That is usually a good indication that the dip has happened. The problem is with Bitcoin is it happens so quickly, right? So the dips like this, if they are going to get bought up, and if this is the bottom, it just happens so quickly. So I think it's just better to, yeah, I do actually think that there's a high probability that Bitcoin actually do hit the daily 50 EMA right here again, the 45k area. I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin hit the 45k area. Actually, I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin come down and hit the 34, 33k area once again. But I want that to happen today or tomorrow, so that there's no daily open and close below the daily 50 EMA. We might have a daily fake out or something like that. Also notice that when you had that major, like, you guys remember when we were trading here, right? So we were trading here, and everyone was a lot of people were still quite bullish, right? A lot of people were still quite bullish, and a lot of people were also saying like, this is the capitulation move, right? This is the capitulation move. I'm buying the blood. I'm buying the dip, and then this happens, right? and that's the capitulation move. That's the dip. That's the real dip. Now the question is, what we just had today, was that the move that people think is the dip, and then we have the true capitulation move? I don't think that's going to happen, because I do think that we're in an uptrend, a local uptrend. And usually you have the capitulation moves, these big moves like we just had, on May, is usually at the bottom, right? Interesting thing here as well, as when Bitcoin actually does have huge dips like this one, you actually tend to come down and test the lows. And watch what happened here. A lot of people bought this, me included, and we started ranging here, and it just became a bit scary, right? Because we kept on testing that low. We kept on testing that low, right? And boom, we took out the low, and that was pure panic, right? We took out the low, that was pure panic, and then we reversed. So what I'm saying here is there's absolutely a possibility that we can come down and go below these lows. And there's absolutely a possibility that we see another move like this and then start moving higher. I will most likely be out of the market when that happens, but try to enter, when we start reclaiming levels. So for example, if I would exit here or here, I would probably start entering somewhere here, or then somewhere here, when there's like confirmation of strength. Obviously, none of these buys would be very, very good, but looking at the local market structure, the break of that trend line, and then kind of the break of that trend line would still be statistically pretty good buying opportunities. So that is what I'm thinking going forward. We have to wait for the low to be established, and then wait for price action to kind of tell us what's going on. All right, so let's see if we have any more questions. All right, so in that case, next higher low would be a good time to exit the market to rebuy odds later. Well, like I said, my plan is to stay in the market and not My plan is to stay in the market and not rebuy all coins or anything like that. As long as Bitcoin stays above the 50 MA, I'm just gonna add to my altcoin bags, not Soul plan. My Soul plan is Soul. I'm gonna be holding as long as we're in a bull market. Right? Soul I'm just gonna be holding as long as we're in a bull market. As long as Bitcoin holds to 50 MA, I'm gonna be holding everything. Same with Ethereum, same with Matic, everything. I'm not going to sell altcoins to rebuy later as long as we're in the bull market. I'm going to buy alts on dips and load up the bags when we're in a bull market. All right, guys. So the plan here was to actually end the live stream here, but I'm seeing I'm getting more and more people joining the live stream. So let's just do a recap of what we talked about, right? So my plan going forward is to buy the dips because I do think that we're in a bull market still. I'm viewing the daily 50 EMA as my invalidation level for this uptrend. As long as Bitcoin does not print a daily candle opening and closing below the daily 50 EMA, I'm still going to be very long on Bitcoin and altcoins. Today on this dip, I'm down. Well, now I'm down 4%. I was down 3% when I started. And the reason why I'm not down more is because I loaded up on my altcoin holdings and I increased my Soul bag significantly. So that is now my biggest altcoin bag is Soul. The plan is to either exit everything when Bitcoin has a daily open and close below the daily 50 EMA, or exit when Bitcoin hits the 100K area. That is my goal, and I would be happy with the profit. So exit when we go below the 50 moving average. So it's I'm not using the simple moving average. I'm using the exponential moving average. So it's the 50 EMA, and I'm not going to exit when we go below. I'm going to exit when there's a daily open and close below. So if there's if the daily candle, if we start trading below the 50 EMA in a daily, you have to wait, for a whole daily candle to close above. The 200 EMA on the daily, I'm not watching the 200 EMA, but we can put that on. Pretty sure we lost that one. The daily 200 EMA would be this one. So that's the daily 200 EMA. And yeah, people love to look at the daily 200 EMA, but I don't see the logic behind. I'm sorry, guys, I don't see the logic behind that. I mean, I know that the 200 moving average is one of the most beloved moving average, and it's just as long as we stay above it, we're bullish, and below we're bearish. But it makes no sense. Let's actually go to the log chart and zoom out and really look at the bigger picture here for Bitcoin. And of course, if you look at the very high time frames, if you look at, for example, the bull market of that went on from 15 to 17. I mean, this major move right here obviously had a very the 200 moving average had a very significant impact on that trend. But if you view this recent move, this recent trend, it had nothing to do with the 200 simple moving average. But on the other hand, if you add the daily 50 EMA, I think this makes much more sense, because the most recent price action has much more value than price action that happened 2015 or 2016 or 17, right? Most recent price action and the behavior of the most recent trend is the one you should be focused on. And looking at that one, it just moved beautifully off the daily 50 EMA. Now you can actually look at this move right here, kind of use the daily 50 EMA nicely. Obviously this one did not, but you look at the actually the tubes I'm watching is the daily 20 EMA and the daily 50 EMA. So you see the daily 20 and the daily 50 is the blue and the gray one on my chart right here. And the daily 50 is a beautiful moving average for Bitcoin to use in your, if you're trading, if you're going to swing trade like the daily and 4-hour time frame. So let me show you that. So we are on the 4-hour time frame right here, and we got the daily and the 50 EMA. I mean, the daily 20 and the 50 EMA on the charts right here. And you can see here that we had some very, very nice bottom formations on the daily 20 EMA right here and here. That would be beautiful buying opportunities. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Don't put too much emphasis on the daily 200 simple moving average, because you need to know why should you care about the 200 simple moving average for Bitcoin. And you shouldn't care about that one because you see a lot of people on Twitter talk about it. You should care about it because you've back tested it. You should care about it because you've back tested it and you see that it makes sense to follow that moving average. I've done the back testing. I've done the research. I have the statistics. I don't like it. I don't like for me, there's no edge in playing the daily 200 simple moving average for Bitcoin. In the Forex market, however, I use it very often to get an indication of the high time frame trend. But for Bitcoin, I like to use faster moving averages because it just moves so goddamn quickly. I'd rather use the 20 and the 50 instead of the 100 and the 200 like a lot of people do, because crypto just moves so much faster than other markets. And when it's going almost parabolic, the 200 SMA is just going to be way, way gone. All right, so let's see what we got on the BTC Dominance. Obviously, the BTC Dominance is continuing to rise. We got let's take a quick look again on the altcoin indices right here. See if we got anything going on right here. Obviously, the Bitcoin market right now and the altcoin market is continuing to dump quite heavily. I don't think we've seen the end of this dump, but the best thing for most people to do right now is take some rest, right? Turn off your computers, turn off your mobile phones, stay out of the market for the next 24 hours. I honestly think that is the best way to play this, right? Is wait for this time to just establish some levels, right? Just take some moment off, because I've been trading Bitcoin for years. I know that this happens from time to time. Bitcoin's price action can be just extremely stressful, and for new traders, it's just better to wait for trends to form and trade the trend. Right now, we have, right now it's not looking. The trend is not clear, even though we're above the daily 50 EMA. The trend is not very clear. So just take some rest, take it easy, spend some time with your family, do something that you enjoy, and get back to the market in a couple of days when there's a trend forming. I think that is just the best way of trading. If you're looking at long-term holdings, just buy the dip. Just buy the dip and do something else. Well, so before we end the live stream here, let's answer some questions. Is it too late to buy Soul? I'd like to say that it's never too late, but it's probably too late. Probably doesn't help you, but fuck me, look at this. This is insane. This is insane. Yeah, I like, it depends. How much are you willing to lose? How much are you willing to lose? If you're willing to lose 30%, yeah, buy Soul. But if you're not okay with a 30% loss, do not buy Soul at this price. Double bottom on Ethereum. All right, so look at this. Look at this. Sorry, guys, but it's all right. Okay, so let's take it easy for a minute here. Double bottom on Ethereum. I just bought more. Now that sentence I like, but then on the next one we have on 15-minute time frame. So I don't know if you're seeing this, but this is the 15-minute on Bitcoin. Let me just give you an advice. If you have price action that looks like this and you're getting a double bottom on the 15-minute, when the 4-hour looks like this, you have to understand that double bottoms are great great patterns to see at major bottoms, right? Not in the middle of a range or especially not at the top. But when you see a double bottom on the daily or the 4-hour at a very clear bottom, that is a great indication of a bottom, especially if there's a break and retest of the neckline of the W. So let's look at Ethereum here on the um, on the 15 minutes to see if we can find a good double bottom. Is this a double bottom? No, it's not a double bottom, right? It could become a double bottom, right? But it's not a double bottom, right? But it could potentially form a double bottom. What this could be is just a downtrend, right? So that could be, obviously it's not going to look like that. It's weird. But yeah, it could just look like this could just be a downtrend, right? So what is a double bottom? Well, this is a double bottom. One bottom, neckline, two bottoms, and it comes up and it tests that level. Now this is a double bottom. And a confirmed double bottom would be a break above the neckline, right? So if you see a break above the neckline of the W, that is a confirmed double bottom, and that is what you can buy. You can buy the breakout of the neckline of the W, or in my case, I would always wait for a break and retest. Now, if you look at the 4-hour, even a break and retest of that W would be, not sure that will look good on the 4-hour. So if you're buying this in hopes that Ethereum will pump here because it's a double bottom, you're probably trading your emotions, and I'm missing you probably being very emotional right now. I think you need to step back, zoom out, and have some patience, right? Because you might, like, if you go to the 5-minute, or even to even the 1-minute, you might look at this chart and you'll be like, well, look at this. We have a double bottom here, right? We have a double bottom here, and you might have bought that right there, right? And I mean, what I'm saying here is, when you have a dump that's taking out high time frame levels, well, of course, it's a beautiful test of that level right there, but it's taking out high time frame levels. It's visible on the high time frames. It's happening on a very, very big scale. I would not recommend trying to time the bottom on the lower time frames. I would recommend that you wait, you zoom out, and you wait. At least try to see a bottom on the 1-hour or something like that. And I would like to see break and read a break in market structure, at least a break of this trend line, and maybe something like this, at least on the 1-hour, before I start buying the dip. It's extremely risky to buy a potential double bottom on the lower time frames, right? So understand that what you're doing here is extremely risky, and you're most likely gambling more than you're actually trading. All right. You guys were asking me about a lot of altcoins. All I have to tell you is, right, FTT. I'll take a look at FTT because it's probably quite bullish. With 4-hour, I hit a good area right here. I do like this FTT. So FTT and Sol is actually experiencing. It's obviously experiencing pretty bullish market structure right here. All right, guys. So plan for today was just to do a 30 minutes live stream to kind of update you guys and give you guys my thoughts on market, to kind of calm you down in a situation like this. If you're interested in chatting with me and knowing or knowing when I enter the market or enter anything, please consider going to thebourbonus.com/free trial, and you get 7 days for free. And a lot of stuff will happen in the next 7 days. So if I enter anything new, if we post a new calls, or we do daily updates on the Bitcoin markets. If you want to get to know what's going on in the next 7 days, just get in there. And if you need any help with anything, go to the Nest Club chat and tag me in the chat with whatever questions you have, and I will make sure to help you guys out. All right, guys, I would like to wish you all a fantastic Tuesday, and try not to stress too much over this situation. It's going to work out one way or another. Bitcoin is not going to zero. This happens from time to time. All right, guys. Sorry, I can't really go through the comments right now, but I will do a live stream tomorrow morning for the Nest Club members. If you want to have an updated view on this, get into the Discord, and I'll see you there. All right, guys, take care, and see you guys in the next one.